I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down. I just happen to come up hard. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it.
I never took a straight path nowhere. Life's full of twists and turns, bumps and bruises. I live, I learn. I'm from that city full of yellow cabs and skyscrapers. It's hard to get a start in these parts without paper. Homie, I grew up in hell, a block away from heaven. That corner age 15 minutes, it move at 7. Pure snow, bag it then watch it go. Occupational options, get some blow or some hoes. Shoot the ball of the
What's going on, Cigar World? What's going on, Cigar Enthusiasts? This is Jack, the Cigar Enthusiast, and you already know I'm back with a live segment of Virtual Smoke Deck. For all my people that's kind of getting in and, you know, everybody's starting to get themselves together, I have an action-packed night from you in store, and I want you to understand that what I'm going to talk to you about today has nothing to do with really cigars, but a lot to do with business, especially when it comes to our Black-owned businesses. It's best that we equip ourselves with something that can help elevate the things that we're trying to do and really push us in the right direction. So I'm going to let everybody kind of start, trickling in. I just lit up my cigar. I need to get it backlit because I didn't light it properly because the intro came, so I had to stop. But yeah, man, it's Monday. What's going on, everybody? Because yesterday, man, we was trying to go live yesterday, but living in Florida is one thing. A lot of people be like, oh, it's beautiful. It's a great place to retire, yada, yada, yada. But in reality, it sucks during this time we call hurricane season. Right, the weather channel can never get it right. They just sit here and say it's gonna be sunny all day. 2 hours after they said that it's pouring down raining, they can say it's gonna rain all day and be sunny all day. They can never get it right, so we never know what it's really gonna be or how great the weather is gonna be for that day. But what we do know is we can guarantee during this time for it to rain, regardless of whatever the news channels say. They wrong. I'm the weatherman right now. It's going to rain every day, okay? For all my Jacksonville folks, y'all hit that comment box because y'all already know what it is. Y'all know it's the truth. What's going on, Ashhead TV? Thank you for tuning in, my brother. I appreciate y'all watching us on YouTube. Again, if you don't know, we're streaming on all 3 platforms. I say all 3, but technically 2, Facebook and YouTube. And what we're doing on Facebook, we have it streaming on my personal as well as my Dapper D's page. So feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit that like button, hit everything. Also get it out to anybody that you want. I have changed the settings. Nobody should have problems with anything now. I was having this thing where people were like, well, you can't see your videos. It's only private. Man, look, I'm done with all that. So it's all public. Everybody can see it. I don't care what you is, what you ain't. But anyway, what I was saying is it rains every single freaking day. So just happened, right? I had everything set up. I'm about to get ready to go live yesterday. It started pouring down freaking rain. Now this ain't nothing, right? We used to this. It's gonna rain, it's gonna thunder, it's gonna do all that. I want to say we've been in our house, this current house, for almost a year. Our old one, we was there for 3 years. And I can honestly say, I think we probably lost power twice. Yesterday being number 2, right? So we about to get ready to go live. We lose the damn power. Now we over here sitting with our thumb stuck up our behind, trying to figure out what the heck is about to happen next. So more of the story, man, the power didn't end up coming on to about 10 o'clock last night. And I was up. I was like, there's no way I'm going live tonight. We had already scheduled it for today. Well, it's Monday, and everybody needs a little pick-me-up for the week. You probably got done with that dragging day of Monday fever or whatever you want to call it. Now it's time to really get into something really good. So I hope you guys have your cigars ready. I have 3 cigars action-packed for you guys tonight. Y'all gonna have to let me do some breaks because I need to puff on my sticks. I love to smoke as well as talk. So, but we're gonna do both, okay? Tonight we drinking on a Rosado. It's a red, kind of dry, sweet wine. I'm really a fan of reds. I don't even know where this wine stuff really happened because I promised you 2 years ago you couldn't get me to drink wine. I'm like, give me anything, cognac, bourbon, whiskey, anything on the rocks, I'll be all right. Man, I've been really into this wine thing, and it just took it off. Now I be sipping on wine like I just got a bad breakup or something. Well, anyway, man, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Hit them comment box. You already know if this is your first time, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little interjection. Here at Dapper D's and on the Virtual Smoke That, we love to comment and shout people out. All you have to do is hit that comment box in that link, wherever it is that you're watching it from, and we're going to shout you out. With that being said, tonight we're smoking a La Hacienda. This is a 5 by 5/8 by 46. It's really weird how it is. You want to classify it as a Corona Toro or something, even though that's not a classification, but that's kind of where I want to classify it at. But either way it goes, that's what we're smoking on. This is a medium cigar. It's a Habano wrapper, and then I have the Rocky Patel 15th anniversary lined up for after this one, and then I have the Alec Bradley Mandow to kind of throttle back my palate as I make it through the night. After this, if you're not a member of Cigar Talk Facebook group, go ahead and ask to join that page, because shortly after this segment, literally after this segment, we're going live on a Zoom platform with all the smokers within the group, man. And I think that's going to be a great one too. I like to do those because it allows you to more interact with people. So y'all see my ad film? That's because I ain't smoking enough. But anyway, tonight is a different segment. I know ever since I launched maybe like 8 weeks ago, we have had special guests after special guests after special guests tuning in, really, kind of promote the business cigar talk, right? Because I'm all about that, right? I'm a firm believer that not everybody is meant to be entrepreneurs. But I'm also a firm believer that if you put your mind to it and understand it's not going to be easy, but you're passionate about it, then you're going to drive yourself to success. You think about it. There's so many stories out there of people that didn't have something before, and now they converted their focus to their passion, and that passion is what really drove their business, right? You think about Jeff Bezos, think about Mark Zuckerberg, think about Oprah Winfrey, think about Denzel Washington, think about all these people that have this fascinating story about them. And what they did was they took their time and focused on their passion. When you focus on your passion, it's so easy not to give that. I mean, it's so easy to do whatever it is. You're not going to give up on it because it's your passion. That's what you like to do. Man, everybody be like, man, Jack, I hear your enthusiasm. I tell you one thing. I don't know everything about cigars. I do know enough to have the conversation if I need to. But what I would say is I'm very passionate about cigars, which really made it easy for me to open up Dapper D's, to really take this organization, this enterprise that I'm in a process of building, and really make it as big as I could possibly make it, because it's the passion behind it. Dapper D's, I tell everybody that knows me, Dapper D's Cigars is literally just the foundation. If I would sit here and say that the only thing that I'm trying to do is open Dapper D's, we're wrong, okay? That is not the case. We are building an enterprise. But before we get into the things that was taught by me, by my mentor, that have really allowed me to open up my mind and see the bigger picture, and understand how am I going to follow my passion and ultimately make this work, I had to do some soul search. I had to do some diving into what it is that we're going to go into, and that's called the business plan. You know, I heard something on the Breakfast Club before we even go into what I was about to say. Tonight, we are announcing the winner of our monthly subscription giveaway. If you don't know, DapperDCigars.com, you have a opportunity to subscribe for a chance to win. It's a monthly giveaway. This week, we're giving away the Onyx 50 count humidor. I mean, this humidor is freaking awesome. I think it's like a $90 humidor or something like that. We're giving it away for free. All we ask is you to go to DapperDCigars.com and subscribe. You can go subscribe and leave. I don't care what you do. But the thing about it is go in there, subscribe for a chance to win. And people are really winning. This ain't none of that fake stuff where I'm going to get your email and I'm going to send you a whole bunch of people are really winning out here. But anyway, more to the story, right? It was a segment. I was listening to the Breakfast Club, I want to say Thursday, because I was taking my daughter to school. And the question was for callers to call in, what is the most outrageous thing that somebody has asked for, that somebody has asked you for? And now this is a really, really, crazy, you dig, because people are seriously out here asking for ridiculous amounts of money, or people feel like when you have done something, you have made it somewhere, then they're entitled to your what is the most outrageous thing your success somebody has asked for, and it's not true. It's like at the end of the day, you have built this, right? So anything I give you or anything I give to you is literally from the kindness of my heart. It's not I have to, right? But anyway, the question was, what is the most astronomical thing somebody has asked you when it comes to money? And Charlamagne, Envy, and Angela Yee was on there. It was like, man, I'd have had people at 25,000 is the minimum, right? But Angela Yee said something that kind of struck me right here, because I put a lot of time, effort, preparation, rereading, rewriting again. I mean, into every piece of document I have to present to the banks, to the leasing companies, to anybody that asks for my business plan that's on a business level, right? And Angela Yee said somebody had asked for some money to start a business. Makes sense. I mean, I would ask them. Hands down, I would. But the thing about it is, I'm not going to ask them without having my documentations in a row. Because what a lot of people don't understand, when you have that type of connection in front of you, right? Somebody that can really, really take you off. I mean, literally, it was a black-owned sunscreen company. Got an investor to back it, and the investor invested $1 million into her company. $1 million. You think she just gave her $1 million because she was black-owned? Hell no! You got to have your ducks in the row in order to get that million. So she invested into this $1 million. Her company instantly became worth $5 million, because literally, when you have a plan to get that type of money, you got to have a plan in order to plug it and play and make sure it makes money for you. If it does not make money for you, then you're doing things backwards. You're doing things wrong. You should probably quit. Give them their money back, because shit is about to get real quick. So anyway, I was like, why would anybody ask Angela Yee? Everybody knows Angela Yee. It's like, it's not a secret. Like, you know who she is. Everybody knows DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God. Everybody knows them. They know, if you get them to back your business financially, it's just not backing your business financially. They're going to put your, it's not, all the times I have briefed my concept to people, and I found my one investor. Damn show. Anytime he needed something, he asked the question. I was able to get it to him. I didn't have to. Oh, I don't have that. Let me go ahead and prep that. Oh, what's that? What's this? No, man, we got to be ready. You know, and that's the thing about business, right? We cannot conduct ourselves in business. We can't say we business professionals or business people or entrepreneur if you're not going to dive into the trenches and do the shit that you don't want to do. And one of the things that I noticed, now, I'm not going to sit here, I sit here and I say this very modestly, is I learned a lot of my stuff recently. It's not something that I've been knowing, right? But one thing, when you grow up in Kankakee, Illinois, you don't have resources that you can call on that knows people that has successful businesses. I can't sit here and be like, hey, X, Y, and Z, so-and-so, I know he got a successful business. He'll sit down and talk to me. Man, everything we did, we had to learn it on our own because nobody was really doing it. So anyway, I had my mentor sat down with me. I told him I wanted to do a business. I wanted to open up Dapper D's. My wife, I've been talking to my wife about it and all this. And he literally set me down step by step by step by step. For all my entrepreneurs out there, like seriously, how many people do you have in your back pocket that will sit down with you and go over step by step by step by step? And I'm not saying like my man put me on some real game, and I'm about to get that same game to y'all, because what I have noticed is I put the time and the effort to make sure that one packet of papers was organized, well thought out, and I mean, when I say grammatically correct, I mean grammatically correct. It's not one period that's missing out of there. And Lord knows, I'm one of the most, man, when it comes to grammar, I can mess some stuff up. But, you know, because I had somebody in my corner, because I had people talk, I had somebody to talk to, I'm about to share some stuff with y'all. And my cigar. I'm about to share some stuff with y'all tonight that, you know, at the Virtual Smoke Dad, we drop a lot of nuggets. We drop a lot of gems, man. We drop some stuff that you probably wouldn't even think about, man. And a lot of people take it for granted. But my people that's really trying to do this, that don't have, you know, somebody that left them a trust fund, don't have nobody that can sit here and just dump a small business loan of $1 million off to them. Nobody that has to go out there and get the lending, the SBA lending, because that's what it's there for. It's to give people opportunities. Well, I'm going to teach you how to get it, right? So if you're watching this and you trying to open a business, or you know somebody that's trying to open a business, share this, because I promise you, if you do exactly what I just said, it's going to make your road a hell of a lot easier. All right? I had a pretty easy road. I've heard horror stories where people have literally been denied after denied after denied after denied. Think about this. The owner of FUBU, Damon, he went to 70-some banks. 70-something. 70 banks, and was disapproved every single time, and he had sales. That's mind-blowing. You want to know why? And I haven't talked to him. I haven't even heard him say it. But I guarantee I know why he failed, or why he failed to get the support or the financial support that he needed. He failed simply due to the fact that his documentation was not in order. Because when you have sales and your documentation is in order, people will give you their draws if you ask for them. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to tell y'all something, but y'all ain't, you know, but let's go into it. So a business plan, what is a business plan? A business plan is a document that you put together to allow somebody to be able to read your vision. Let's break it down in simpler terms. It's a document that says exactly what it is that you're going to do for your business. A business plan is required. Actually, freak that. It is mandatory when trying to open a business. I'm going to tell you it's mandatory unless you have a shitload of money. But if you try to go get money from anywhere that is not your own bank account, you need a business plan. And if you do not have a business plan, then it's going to be practically impossible to get money. Now, we broke down what a business plan is, but I want to tell you that this business plan needs to be your heart, sweat, and blood put into this, right? Because when people read this document, you can present this whole idea and it'd be the best idea in the freaking world. But if they can't see that same idea on the piece of paper, you're wrong. Now I'm gonna tell you a little story and then we're gonna get into this business plan. So I was working with a bank. I ended up not going with the bank because I really didn't like the way he was talking to me, right? I'm trying to open a business. Yes, I need your bank, but he would give suggestions that didn't really have no sense behind it, right? He'd tell me, well, Jack, you need 75,000. Okay, where the hell am I supposed to get 75,000 from? That's why I'm here talking to you. So if I need 75,000 to get 250,000, then what you want me to do? You want me to go start selling bud on the corner? What you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do. I want you to figure it out. Okay, cool. I figured it out. Told him, got the money. Man, how'd you get it? I did this. Oh man, why you do that? Well, first of all, if you'd have told me what to do to get it, then I wouldn't be here talking. I would have already had the money to get my business, right? So anyway, I didn't really like his suggestions, and then the way he talked to me was like as if I solely needed him, like he was the only bank in America, right? Because little disclaimer alert, when you're looking for a business loan, you can go to any bank in America. It's best to go to local or municipal banks, okay? Actually, local or regional banks, excuse me. When you start trying to go to Wells Fargo, USAA, Chase, all the you need to have your ducks in a row. All right. For small businesses, the best place to go is an actual local. I'm talking about one branch or a regional branch, a branch that has couple banks here and there throughout some states. Those are your best ones. So anyway, I end up dropping him and presented my idea about the cigar lounge. It might be, I don't know, maybe 10 banks, right? Let's say 10. Documents was good. Obviously, I was doing this during coronavirus. So, I mean, the peak of it, PPP type deal. A lot of people are like, look, we're not doing no type of funding right now. You look like you have a great plan. But one of them said, Jack, I'm reading your plan, right? And I'm trying to figure out what is going to separate you from every other cigar lounge. I said, hold on, that's covered in the competitive edge. And I mean the competitive advantage, sorry. He said, look, I'm gonna tell you something. It's COVID. You need to tell us throughout your whole entire business plan what is going to separate you from every other cigar lounge in the United States. I said, so you want me to boast and brag about my business and what I'm going to do? I asked him straight up like that. He said, absolutely. I said, 10-4, roger that. I changed my entire business plan to be as cocky as I possibly can make it. Because at the end of the day, they want to know if we give you this money, you're going to pay us back our money and you're also going to be successful. If you're not going to do neither one of those, I don't want to do business with you. Period. So I'd already had this idea, this business plan already up. I ended up extending it 5 more pages. Now my business plan is 25 pages long, right? It was already 20. I made it 25 pages long, right? So a lot of people gonna be like, man, 25 pages. God damn, Chad, what you write about? I wrote about my business, and I sold my business on a piece of paper. Now, there's 5 ways to make sure that you are able to sell your business on a piece of paper. And those are called the 5 C's. The 5 C's, I'm gonna break them down into every single part of how it comes about. But you want to do company, your customer, your concept, your competition, and your condition of your industry. All right. Those are your 5 C's: company, customers, concept, competition, condition of the industry. Right? Why do you want to do these things? Because if you hit those 3 things, then you're hitting every single question that the bank is going to ask for, right? You're going to hit every single one of them items that the bank is asking for. Now, what is company? Your company, the first thing that you should start off with, and I'm going to show you guys a little brief snippet of my business plan, a little bit. I can't have everything. Inside the company, when they say company, you want to break down your executive summary. Now, the executive summary should be at least 4 paragraphs, and it should really put together that entire business plan, right? Now, your business plan is simply a proposal for your business. Now, your executive summary is breaking that down into very highlighted parts. In your executive summary, you should try to cover the 5 C's that I spoke about: company, customers, concept, condition of the industry, and competition. You should be able to hit those all in your executive summary. Why? Because the last thing somebody wants to do is read the entirety of your business plan from page to page. Nobody wants to do that. And if they have to do that, 9 times out of 10, you're not getting the funding that you need anyway. Okay? So executive summary, put some thought into that, put it all together. And I mean, when you read your executive summary, it should be like, damn, this is going to be the best cigar lounge in the whole damn world, right? Because that's what we're here to do. Your customers. Your customers is your target market. Your target market. Customers, target market. You need to know that. I put it like this. My target market for cigars is 27 to 55. Now, I'm not saying that I want anybody below 27, and I'm not saying I want anybody above 55. What I'm saying is I market to everybody, but that's my concentration, because we are Dapper D's, right? We're not a club, right? We're not a hangout bar, sports bar. We're not any of that. We are literally a sophisticated, elegant, high-class cigar lounge located in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, in order to understand that, I have to understand that between 21 and 25, you're still trying to find yourself. You're really not there yet, right? Some people are, some people aren't. Now, I'm not going to take that away from nobody, but you got to understand where you're trying to market to, okay? Now, understanding that your market is key to identifying everything that's put together, you have to understand that whatever it is that you're selling, this is who I want to buy it, or this is who I'm targeting to buy it. Now that you understand your market, you can understand the marketing tactics that you have to do to catch them, right? Social media marketing has really become a thing. It was really hard back in the day not having social media. Now marketing is to a point where I can do YouTube, I can do live podcasts, I can do whatever it is that I want to market to my people. Now, understanding this, just because you're marketing to people of that statue, you also got to welcome the people that's not and change them gradually. Don't ever feel like you cannot put rules in place to sit here and make sure that you're marketing to the right people. So understanding your customers. With that being said, we're going to take a pause in this segment to announce our winner of our Onyx 50 count humidor, which, I mean, when I say this thing is beautiful, man, it is straight beautiful. So our winner goes to Jason Begnaud out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Jason has been a guy that runs Smoker Delights Facebook page on Facebook, obviously, and really kind of a connect when it comes to Cubans. Great guy. Congratulations, Jason. You are the winner of your Onyx 50 count humidor, which will be shipped out here tomorrow. All right. I'm going to go ahead and make sure he is tagged into here to make sure that he knows he won. And then we're going to get back to it. All right. So anyway, now that you understand your market, sorry guys. Now that you understand your market, now it's time to really get into the meat and potatoes of this document, right? Obviously, we said your executive summary is going to be a little bit of again the entirety of the business plan. And then your customers is going to show you who it is that you're trying to market to, and then the next thing that you want to do is concept. Again, this is kind of where you're getting like what is going to set you apart. What is going to make whatever your business is, whether it's a clothing line or if it's a nail salon or a barber shop or a restaurant or, you know, a clothing, a shoe company, a cigar lounge, whatever the case may be, what is going to separate you? What is separating you from everybody else? That's a good question. And I want to say that's one of the most thought-provoking questions that you can ask is what is separating you from everybody else? Because people, what I realize is people have ideas, and what people do is they look at other people's idea and they try to take it and make it their own. But what they don't understand is they don't have the concept behind doing what somebody did. What was the strategic magnitude that they demonstrated or created this business on? That's everything, right? That is everything. You have to have a concept that is definitive and different from everything that you're trying to do. If you don't have that, then it's going to be really, 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 really hard to sell what it is that you're trying to do. If you're not selling what it is that you're trying to do, then I'm sorry, guys, but y'all are not in business. All right. You should be sitting here literally selling every piece of product that you have when it comes to your business plan. You have to sell your business. If you do not sell your business, then you're not going to have a business, right? So concept is everything. This is where you want to dig deep. I mean, deep, and figure out what's going to separate you. Once you figure out what's going to separate you, now it's at this point where how do we put it on paper for everybody to understand? All right. So now that you have that, the biggest thing that you really want to focus on when understanding and developing your concept is really getting into how are you different from the people in your area, right? If you can tell how you're the best in the world, then it should be easy to tell why you're the best in your area. What is going to drive them customers, the second C, to want to come to your spot versus the spot they already been going to? Because one thing about people is when they get familiar with something, or they get in a groove, or they have a preference, it's really hard to change their mind. It's really hard to change their mind. So you really have to dig deep and figure out what's going to drive them to Dapper D's. All right. Now, competition. I want to say this is the most important thing that you can do when opening a business. You have to study. Not read about them. You have to study your competition from start to freaking finish. This could take up to 6 months to do, because you have to go in there and literally sit down in these establishments and count their customers. How many drinks are they selling? What's their average price? What are people paying? If nobody's in here, is the prices too high? What's driving them out of here? You want to look at literally every single negative about that and make sure that when you do create that negative, when you do find that negative, you ultimately find a solution to that negative in your business, right? And this is key. So you have to study. I mean, when I sat here, I studied my competition in Jacksonville for a whole year. I went in on a Friday and Saturday night. I literally was there all day, literally all freaking day. Spent some money, but I was there all day, studying their habits, studying their customer service, studying their prices, studying the concept of the building, studying the interaction with the people, studying every single piece. Why? Because when I open my business, I want to ensure that not only do I take on those customers, but how do I take on those customers and keep those customers here at Dapper D's? Because again, I already pointed out what my target customer group is. Now, understanding that I realize what my target my customer group is, now I can really dive into that competition. Now, one thing I noticed, actually, we're not going to talk about what I noticed, but I'm going to say there's a place here that a lot of people like going to, but a lot of people hate going to. It's fun. It's very active, but it's not really catered to the cigars, right? One thing about cigar enthusiasts that I do know for sure is when people love cigars, they love cigars. And when I sit here and tell you, if they dislike your spot, they'll be the first ones to tell you. The first ones. They'll tell you everything that you need to correct to get them. Now, some things is kind of a teeter-totter, right? I'm not gonna do everything a customer tell me, but my mission is to drive top-notch customer service at a very affordable rate when it comes to cigars. So you have to understand that. I understand the price point of everybody. I understand what their beer, wine, or liquor sales is. I understand what holds that place over, right? What is really making this business money, right? Same thing with a restaurant. If I was looking to do a restaurant, that'd be the first thing I do. Whatever it is that mirrors it, or if it's something new, I would need to go to another area to figure out what people love about that food. Same concept. You just need to do your do your research on your competition. Now, the last C is something that you really, really, really need to know. And it's the condition of your industry, right? Whether it's the retail, restaurant, hospitality, food service, catering, whatever it is, you need to know your history on your industry, because the history on your industry is really going to allow you to dive deeper into manifesting and perfecting those things that you figured out in the competition phase, and make sure that they are solid when it comes to the condition of the industry. Now, It'd be stupid for you to go into the hospitality business right now. Why? Because people are really scared to travel, right? If I'm going to open up a hotel, it's probably not going to be right now, right? But also in business, you can't be scared to do things that is out of the norm either. Because when things are out of the norm, that is when you become the most successful. When things are out of the norm. When people say, why are you opening up a business in a pandemic? It's because it's the most perfect time to do it. Why, Jack? I tell you why. Because God forbid something happens, because business fail, God forbid something happens, it's a lot easier to get that stuff forgiven now than in a stellar economy. They're going to take everything then. So you ask why, I'm telling you why. But you got to understand the condition of your industry. You have to understand the breakdown of it, how it works in day in ins and out. If you're going to be a retailer, how are you getting your supplies? Is the supplier or the manufacturers having a problem getting their supplies? These are questions that you have to ask. And if the answer is yes, then you probably want to figure out a different way. God forbid something happens where you can't get your product and have a couple more in there. I got a good friend of mine, Jamil, was on this show a couple of weeks ago. He runs a restaurant. He owns a restaurant. And one of the biggest things that during this time, the products that he usually gets from certain distributors and manufacturers, he wasn't able to get anymore. Why? Because simply due to the fact is these mugs it was hard for them to get it. So you can't buy something because you've been buying it from them all this time and think when something catastrophic happens that you're still going to be able to get your product. It does not work like that, right? So it's either one or two things. It's one or two things that you have to do. You have to find backups to the backups to the backups. For me, I don't get my cigar from one spot. I go through every single manufacturer to get my product. And if my manufacturer doesn't and this happens a lot, believe it or not, when a manufacturer doesn't have a product, I go to my wholesalers. Now, I have several of those, and they always have it. If they don't, I'm just shit out of luck. But I try to make sure that I have a backup to the backup to the backup so I know where to get my product from, and I also know how the industry is doing. Especially during COVID, some of the factories shut down all over the freaking world. So what do you think production of cigars is going? Down. They're not producing a lot of cigars. A lot of people are selling out of cigars. Why? Simply due to the fact that they don't have any manufacturers lined up or any wholesaler or any other operations because, oh, I got the manufacturer account. I don't need to go nowhere else. Okay, that's cool. But when your manufacturer tell you got to spend $22,000 before you can buy from them directly, you're going to figure it out real quick, or you're going to spend $22,000. But me personally, I would never spend $22,000 on a straight product at a straight time. Because look, God forbid that don't sell. And I had a conversation with a good friend of mine. He opened up a hookah line. And I told him he had some great ideas. And I said, brother, the dumbest thing you can do is buy all that shit. It's exactly what I said. You want to customize this, and you don't even know if it sells or not. So you're going to have all this inventory to do what? If inventory is sitting, you ain't making money, period. So you got to understand the condition of your market. Now, understanding the business plan is literally essential to making shit happen for your business. I remember when I secured my spot, I'm a young guy, very inexperienced in the entrepreneur realm. I'm a great negotiator. I definitely know how to talk, definitely know how to sell. But what won me over with them is not only my ability to talk, but what was in that paper. And that's everything it's about. So don't go sitting down with people to try to ask for money, to try to get certain things from them, if you don't have your ducks in a row. And one thing that you have to make sure that you have in a row is the final thing of your business plan that is not part of the 5 C's, and that's projections. And if you're selling, having sales prior to getting lending can be a good thing if it booms really well, or it could be a detrimental thing if it doesn't do good at all. Because what it's showing is that you got into this business, you're not making shit. You're not making no money. So why am I going to give you money when you already showed me you got a year of being in business and you haven't made not a damn thing? Have anybody ever watched Shark Tank and seen them give, I don't know, $200,000 if the people ain't made no money without getting a large chunk of their business? That's something to think about. So having sales prior to getting funding could hurt you, but it could help you too. Some people require that you've been in business for a year. If they require you've been in business for a year, I'm gonna give you a simple equation. Take 10% of whatever your revenues is, and that's how much they're willing to lend you. They're not willing to lend you nothing else but that, unless you're gonna have a high ass interest rate. All right. So if you've been in business already, looking to get money, you still need a business plan, but you also need them sales to be up to par. And if them sales ain't up to par, then you're shit out of luck, Tommy. Now, the part I really want to hit on, and this is what I really want you guys to concentrate. Once you have your business plan done, the next thing that you need to focus on is your projections. I was told by a president of a bank that this very, very simple mathematical equation. The mathematical equation is whatever you saw or whatever you thought you were going to make your first year, divided by 2. Whatever you thought your bills was going to be the first year, multiply by 2. And that is how your business plan should be broken down. I mean, how your projections should be broken down. You should have a month to month that's saying pretty much they want to know when are you going to start showing profits. And I'm gonna give y'all a quick disclaimer here. No business shows profit in 1 month. Nobody, absolutely nobody shows profit in their first month. So putting that on a business plan or in a projection is a red flag. Most people show profit between 6 to 1 year, pretty much. That's when they start showing profits, that 6-month mark. Why? Because month 0 to month 6, you're building up your clientele, you're building up your customer base. So that means that you need to have enough working capital to supply you between month 0 to month 6. If you're not doing that, you're in bad shape, my friend. You're in bad shape. So you want to make sure that you have that all together, okay? Now, there's a couple things that I want to hit on. One more thing. The 3-year projection. So after you have your 12-month, month-to-month, you want to go into your 3-year projections. And the rule of thumb is you should take whatever your year 1 projection is and times about 8 to 12%. Whichever one you decide to land, I don't really care. You can go 12, you can go 8. But it shows a healthy business growth, right? Now, for my year 1, I think I jumped up like 27%. Why? Because I know my market. I know the condition of my industry. I know what people are making in this industry. So when I presented it, even though it wasn't between 8 to 12, it was like, this is reasonable because we already know what it is that everybody else is making. All right. Now there's a couple things that I'm going to hit on as we wrap up this segment because again, I have to go into another one, but there's a couple things to make sure that you're ready. Just because you have a business plan ready, you have your projections ready, there's a couple things that you have to make sure is done prior to submitting any of these things. That's your articles of operation. If you're a business in Florida, and you're looking to open up a business, SunBiz. SunBiz is the easiest way to start an LLC. Give you your articles of organization. It'll give you everything that you need to really get started. The next thing that you want to do is to go get your EIN. Your EIN is your taxpayer ID. Without a taxpayer ID, you can't get any licenses that you need to get in order to resell. And by the way, you should always have license. I don't know one business or one particular, unless you're a sole proprietor of a t-shirt company, but even that requires a retail license. Every single business you have licenses for. So if you operate in a business and don't have a up-to-date license, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for, garnishment of wages. You're asking for fines. You're asking for all of this stuff. So get your license and do it the proper way. EIN. Once you get your EIN, you have your articles of organization. I want you to go to Duns and Bradstreet. On a personal level, our social security number is our credit. All right. Everything that you buy has a social security number attached to it. Everything you do in business has a Duns number, a Duns and Bradstreet number attached to it. When people want to look at your credit worthiness, they ask for a couple things. And most of the time, they don't even ask for this first thing I'm going to say. Your revenue. Actually, they don't ask for revenue documents, but they always ask you for revenue. Whatever you made, right? Then Duns and Bradstreet. What they're going to do is they're going to type in their Duns and Bradstreet account and figure out what they can find about Dapper D's. What does he have a legitimate track record when it comes to business credit? If you don't have that, don't worry. Literally, go get any and everything you can in order to establish that. Just like when I first started my credit, I literally took out a $250 loan, and I did not pay it back until it was time to be paid back. Now, I could have easily paid that back. And then the next time, once I paid that off, I took out $1,000 again to build that credit up, right? So once you have that Duns and Bradstreet number, now you can establish business credit. Once you're able to establish business credit, when I say the sky is the limit, you start getting stuff like lines of credit that's $100,000 and $200,000. You start getting, expansion loans for working capital to expand your business with no problem, right? The shit is just easier. So Lowe's, Uline, Sherman-Williams, anything that you have to use to build out your business, Wayfair, Overstock, Talmart, whatever it is that you use, Floor and Decor, to build your business. Try to see if you can get some business credit with it. Start it up, go in there, like, hey, look. And if they ask you to run your personal credit, if it's not going to be attached to your business credit, it's pointless. So if they say, you got disapproved and yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, I don't want to open up an account. You want to open it up under your business. Business credit is everything, okay? And then last thing, you need to create an operating agreement. The operating agreement is, unless you're a sole proprietor, you still need an operating agreement, but it breaks down everything of how you're going to operate your business. Are you going to have trainings? Are you going to have this? Are you going to have that? And these are all the things that banks are going to ask for, right? So 5 C's, what are they? Company, customer, concept, competition, condition of the industry. What are some other things that you need to make sure that you have done before trying to go get funding? Articles of operation, EIN registration, register at Duns and Bradstreet, establish your business credit, and then have an operating agreement. These are things that you have to have in place in order to make this happen. All right, champ? With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. I do have a few announcements. Obviously, you guys know that we gave away the 50 count Onyx humidor. Next month, we have another humidor that we're giving away with also 5 also with 5 Project 40s. So go to DapperDCigars.com for a chance to subscribe and win this lovely glass top 20 count humidor with 5 cigars for free. All you have to do is go in there and literally subscribe. Next week, starting Friday, you guys have it first. Starting Friday, September 4th to the 7th, we're having a Labor Day sale. This is a 20% off your entire purchase with some exclusions do apply. That allows you to get your products that you already buying at a cheaper rate. So make sure you guys go patronize DapperDCigars.com for Labor Day weekend. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. I hope you guys was able to learn a lot about business plans and everything that that banks are going to look for and ask for. And really just understand that having your stuff in a row, having your ducks in a row when you go to start a business is everything, right? You have to make sure that you are all set up. So whenever somebody asks a question, whenever somebody requests some documents, you get it right to them. You know, real quick story, then I'm gonna get out of here. You never tell the bank more than what they want to know. You never give them more than what they ask for. They ask for something, give it to them. They're looking to see how your response is going to be. They want to see if are you going to be on top of your business. And in order to be on top of your business, you got to have those documentations in a row. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. I appreciate everybody tuning in for this segment of Virtual Smoke Deck. And again, we are sorry that we had to move it to Monday. With that being said, I'm Jack